Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at
Right.
the Singapore Shophouse market. We've got a recent market outlook report, and
That'll be fun.
yeah, we're going to see what's been happening, what's on the horizon
Right.
for these really interesting properties. Kind of a fascinating blend of old world charm and modern investment potential. And,
Hmm.
this report has some pretty eyebrow-raising figures to unpack.
Yeah.
For example, did you know that a shop house sold for over $14,500 per square foot?
Wow. Yeah, that's
Oh.
some serious money changing hands there. But before we get too lost
Yep.
in the
Going up.
specifics, let's
Yeah.
set the stage.
Excellent.
Bigger economic picture
Okay.
in Singapore.
So let's zoom out for just a sec. The report highlights a strong rebound in Singapore's GDP growth in 2024, a solid 4%. What's the connection to shop houses?
Well, it's all about the sectors
Yeah.
driving that growth.
Yeah.
Tourism and services are bouncing back, and those have a direct impact on demand. For shop houses, more tourists, more businesses
Right.
looking for prime locations, and suddenly, charming shop house spaces
Yeah.
are in high demand.
So the economic winds, definitely blowing in favor of the shophouse market. The report also delves into the popularity of freehold shophouses. I found it interesting that nearly 70% of transactions involved freehold properties in 2024. What's the significance there?
Well, that's a key indicator, I think,
Right.
of the mindset of the investors
Hmm.
in this market. It suggests they're thinking long term.
Oh, okay.
Freehold means you own the property outright, no lease to worry about.
Right.
So those investors are essentially betting
Mhm.
on the continued growth of Singapore and the enduring value of these shop houses.
It's almost like they're saying, we're not just in it for a quick flip. We believe
Right.
in the future of these properties. The report also breaks down shophouse transactions by district. And one stands out, District 8.
Yeah.
Why is it such a hot spot?
Well, District 8 saw the most action, with 33 shop house units sold. In 2024, it seems to be a magnet for both businesses and residents, likely due to its central location
Yeah.
and the bustling commercial activity there.
Makes sense. You want to be. In the heart of it all, that's where you go. Now let's talk about a specific type of shophouse. That really caught my eye.
Okay.
The conservation shophouses. We're talking prime examples of historical charm here.
Yeah.
And they're attracting some serious attention
Night buyers.
from buyers.
Absolutely, highly sought after. And the report gives us a perfect example. 3X Pagoda Street, in the Credit Air Conservation Area. It sold for a staggering
Wow.
$19 million, which works out to over $14,500 per square foot.
That's quite a price tag. What makes conservation shophouses command such a premium?
Well, it's a combination of factors. Firstly, their heritage charm
Yeah.
is undeniable.
Yeah.
They are that unique blend of history and modern amenities, a story etched into the walls.
We like that.
And secondly, they're strategically located in historic districts, often prime commercial areas. And finally, there's the scarcity factor. They're not making any more
Right.
of these historic gems. So the limited supply drives up demand, especially from those who appreciate their unique character.
It's fascinating how they bridge the gap between history and modern-day investment. The report also mentions a massive bulk sale that grabbed my attention, the Rail Mall
Oh, yeah.
it sold for. A cool $78.5 million, making it the largest shophouse transaction of 2024.
Right, and while bulk sales can sometimes skew perceptions of the overall market, it's still a pretty strong signal that investors are confident about the future of shop houses in Singapore.
It's like they're placing a big bet on the
Right.
long-term potential of this sector. The report also delves into the growing influence of tourism, specifically the surge in international visitor arrivals, which directly impacts demand for shop houses. It seems like a win-win. Tourists seek unique experiences, and shop house businesses benefit from that increased foot traffic.
Yes, the tourism sector is a significant driver. International visitor arrivals surged by 22.3% in the first 11 months of 2024, reaching 15.1 million visitors.
Wow.
And that trend is likely to continue, with Singapore's strong global connectivity, infrastructure, and attractions, drawing in even more tourists in the coming years.
So with this positive economic backdrop, what can we anticipate for the shop house market in 2025?
The report points towards a very positive outlook. But it's worth digging into the specifics.
Okay.
In our next part, we'll dissect those projections and explore some thought-provoking questions about the future of shop houses in Singapore. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the Singapore shophouse market. We've uncovered some fascinating trends from 2024, but I'm curious to know, what does the report say about the future of these properties?
Well, the report suggests a very positive outline for shophouses in 2025.
Okay.
There are a few key factors at play.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's driving this optimism?
One major factor is the continued recovery
Uh,
of the tourism sector. We already saw how. International visitor arrivals surged in 2024, and the report expects that momentum to continue into 2025. More tourists means more potential customers
right.
for businesses in those shophouses,
So
especially in the retail and food and beverage sectors.
Makes sense. More people looking for those unique experiences that shophouses offer. But beyond tourism, are there any other forces shaping the market's future?
Yes, the report highlights a few other interesting points. One is the anticipation of Fed rate cuts. When the Fed cuts rates,
Yeah.
it tends to make borrowing more affordable, which can stimulate investment. So we might see more investors
Right.
drawn to shophouses as financing becomes more attractive.
That's an interesting angle. Lower interest rates could definitely sweeten the deal for potential buyers.
Yeah.
But what about Singapore itself? What role does a country's overall economic climate play in the shophouse market outlook?
Well, Singapore's stable and diversified economy,
Mm-hmm.
along with its position as a global business hub, creates a favorable investment climate. And this benefits the shophouse market as well. Investors see the country's long-term growth potential and feel confident putting their money into assets like shophouses.
It sounds like a confluence of positive factors. A tourism boom, potential interest rate cuts, and Singapore's strong economic fundamentals. It paints a very rosy picture. But are there any potential headwinds or risks that you see on the horizon?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's always wise to consider both sides of the coin. While the report highlights a lot of positives, there are always potential challenges. For example, global economic volatility could impact investor sentiment.
Okay.
And within Singapore, factors like rising construction costs or changes in government regulations could affect the market.
So it's not all smooth sailing, but the overall outlook seems positive. I'm also curious about the broader implications of shophouses in Singapore's future. The report touches on the growing trend of people not just buying them for businesses, but also as residential properties. What are your thoughts on this trend?
It's a fascinating development, and it speaks to the evolving role of shophouses. They're no longer just seen as commercial spaces. They're becoming desirable places to live. I think this is driven by a few factors.
Okay.
First, shophouses offer a unique living experience. They're steeped in history, have spacious layouts, and often boast unique architectural features. This appeals to people seeking something different from a typical apartment.
It's that blend of old and new that makes them so appealing, right?
Exactly. And second, their strategic locations
Yeah.
often place them in vibrant neighborhoods, close to amenities and attractions, so you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Right.
Unique living space in a prime location.
And for some, there's also the appeal of combining living and working spaces.
Right.
The classic live-work concept.
Shophouses can offer that flexibility of having a business on the ground floor and living quarters above,
Right.
which is perfect for entrepreneurs or small business owners.
So this trend of shop houses as residential properties adds another layer of complexity and intrigue to this market. I'm curious to see how it evolves, but for now, is there anything else in the report that particularly caught your eye?
There's one more trend worth highlighting.
Okay.
The report briefly mentions the increasing demand for shophouses as venues for experiential retail, and this refers to creating immersive and engaging shopping experiences that go beyond simply buying a product.
That's interesting. So it's not just about selling goods anymore. It's about creating an experience to the customer.
And shophouses,
Yeah.
with their unique charm and character, lend themselves well to this trend.
Okay.
Think pop-up stores, workshops, art galleries, or even interactive exhibits, all within these beautifully preserved spaces.
Sounds like shock houses are adapting to the changing demands of consumers, offering something more than just a traditional shopping experience. It's exciting to see how these historic properties are finding new life and relevance in a modern context.
Shophouses have always been more than just buildings. They're part of Singapore's cultural fabric. As the city-state continues to evolve, so too will the role of these unique spaces. It's a dynamic interplay of history, modernity, and the ever-changing needs of businesses and residents.
Well said. This deep dive has given me a whole new perspective On the Singapore shophouse market, it's dynamic, full of potential, and deeply connected to the cities, past, present, and future.
In our final part, let's delve into some of the broader questions about the future of shophouses in this dynamic city.
Okay.
We'll explore how they might adapt to meet Singapore's evolving vision and what opportunities and challenges lie ahead. Stay tuned.
Welcome back in this final part of our deep dive. We're shifting gears from analyzing market trends to pondering some bigger questions about the future of shophouses. In Singapore, it's clear they're not just static pieces of history. They're evolving, along with the city itself.
That's right. As Singapore continues to transform, it raises some interesting questions
Okay.
about how shophouses
Yeah.
will adapt to meet the city's evolving needs and vision.
For example, Singapore has been placing a strong emphasis on sustainability and green initiatives. How do you see shophouses fitting into this vision, especially considering many of them are historic buildings?
It's a fascinating challenge, finding that balance between
Right.
preserving heritage and incorporating modern sustainability features.
Right.
We might see more creative solutions for retrofitting shophouses with energy-efficient technologies
Right.
or the use of sustainable materials. In renovations, perhaps we'll even see a rise in green building certifications, specifically tailored for these historic properties.
So it's about finding innovative ways to make these older buildings more eco-friendly without compromising their unique character. Another aspect of Singapore's vision is the City and Nature initiative, integrating nature into the urban landscape. Shophouses, with their often narrow footprints, might seem at odds with this concept. What are your thoughts on that?
It's true that shophouses don't immediately evoke images of lush greenery, but there's definitely potential for creativity. We could see more vertical gardens, rooftop greenery, or even internal courtyards transformed into mini oases. It's about reimagining these spaces and finding ways to weave nature into their design, even on a smaller scale.
It's about thinking beyond the traditional limitations and embracing a more biophilic approach to urban design. These are just a couple of examples, but it's clear that the future of shophouses is intertwined with Singapore's broader urban development goals.
Absolutely. And that interplay between history, modernity, and sustainability is what makes this market so compelling. It's not just about bricks and mortar. It's about understanding how these properties contribute to the city's evolving identity.
So as we wrap up our deep dive, what's the key takeaway you'd like our listeners to ponder?
Well, I would encourage you to think about shophouses, not just as investments, but as living, breathing parts of Singapore's urban fabric. They embody the city's history, its entrepreneurial spirit, and its constant drive to innovate. As Singapore continues to transform, the role of shophouses will undoubtedly evolve, presenting both challenges and opportunities. It's a journey worth watching, and who knows, maybe even participating in.
Well said. This deep dive has been an eye-opener, revealing the multifaceted nature of the Singapore shophouse market. It's dynamic, full of potential, and deeply connected to the city's past, present, and future.
It's a reminder that even in a modern metropolis like Singapore, history and heritage continue to shape the urban landscape in fascinating ways.
And with that, we conclude our deep dive into the Singapore shophouse market. We hope you found it insightful and thought-provoking. Until next time, happy exploring.